Yo, what is up, everybody? This is Dion, and I made a huge mistake. I talked about this a little bit in my other YouTube video, but I wanted to make a more in-depth video explaining exactly the mistake that I made. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dion. I am a personal trainer, and I am the founder of the Stronger for Life protocol. So on this day, it was end of January, beginning of February of 2023. I'd been a personal trainer for about 2.5 years at that point. So this is when the early mornings happened. I was getting up at 3 a.m. to be at the gym by 5 a.m. I wasn't leaving the gym until 7, 8 p.m. every single night, Monday through Friday. So I was tired. I was constantly missing my meals. I wasn't getting enough calories in to lift heavy. I wasn't stretching, foam rolling. I wasn't warming up properly. Nothing was going how it should have, the way that I was lifting. But I still have to work out. I'm the example. I'm the personal trainer. So I need to make sure that I am maintaining my levels of working out and making sure that I still set the example for my clients and for all of those that were in the gym that I was working at as well. And this day was like any other. I just needed to get in. I needed to work out. Happened to be an upper body day, so I knew it was going to be a little bit easier for me because I liked my leg days to be harder than my upper body days. But again, it was just another day. Wanted to go in, get my workout done and get done so then I can go back to work and get working on my programming and the homework that I had to write out for all my clients. And it was probably about 8 a.m. I had about an hour and a half, 2 hour break until my next client. So I thought, okay, I have enough time to work out, but I still wanted to have time to go home, shower and eat and come back to the gym because I had lived pretty close to the gym. So I went to our breaking room, put my AirPods in, got the music going, and I just went straight to the bench. Very cold, no warm up, nothing. Just got right underneath the bar and started repping out the bar for my warm up. I'd been following Mark Rippetoe's starting strength programming, and I forget exactly which program that he used, but I was using that to warm up, so that gave me a very good guide of how I should be warming up, going up weight-wise from where I was, or from the warm-up from the bar all the way up to what my heavy was going to be that day. My heaviest bench at that time was around 225, so the old 225, the 2 plates on each side, and that was pretty exciting the first time I hit that. So in this point in the programming, I was rebuilding. So I had hit the peak and I came back down to rebuild it. So I was going back up to try to hit 235 the next time I got up that heavy. And this wasn't even a heavy day. This was one of the volume days. So in week 4 of the programming, it's a deload. It's very easy. So it shouldn't have been anything that I could have gotten injured on, which is what we all think, right? So I'm warming up, going the bar, 135, 155, 165, and then we get to 185 on the bar. I was feeling good. Nothing didn't feel off at all because I know sometimes when people have injuries, the place of injury is like, oh, that didn't feel too good. Something doesn't feel right. I don't know what's going on. This time, there was nothing going on. Nothing didn't feel out of the ordinary when I was benching through this warm-up. And I'll never forget it. I unracked the 185. I came down. As I'm coming down, I went to push back up and I felt the tear. It almost felt like saran wrap ripping. And it was just right in that pec minor, pec major into my shoulder area. And thankfully it was the bench press racks that had the 2 tiers. So there was one a little bit lower right above the head. So I was able to get it just up enough and rack the bar into that lower one. And I just sat there and had nothing to give. At this point, that was the biggest injury I've ever had in my lifting career. It was also the first time I've ever felt anything like that before because I've been very blessed. I've been working out since I was about 14, 15 years old, and I'm 24 now. So in a decade of working out, I have been very lucky to have never had an injury from lifting weights. And to my surprise, yes, there was probably a lot of adrenaline going on, but I didn't feel much in my chest. I just know that that was not what that was supposed to feel like because it was a tear. It did feel like a tear, but it wasn't a complete tear. It didn't have a pop. I didn't have any very obvious bruising or redness right off the bat, but I could tell that that was something that should not have happened when I was benching. And one other thing I'll never forget is I thought to myself, I said, okay, I need to check this range of motion to see if anything hurts. So I took my arm, straightened it, went big circle all the way around. Thankfully, nothing. There was nothing there. I didn't feel anything out of place. Nothing hurt. My full range of motion was still there, which to me, that was crazy in that moment to realize that I think I just, at that time, thought I slightly tore my pec, and I still had that full range of motion to be able to move it in all directions at a very, very slow movement. And at the time, I've been seeing a chiropractor once a week just to maintain my structure, because I had been lifting so heavy that at that point it seemed like I needed to have a chiropractor, but he wasn't just a chiropractor, he was also a physical therapist. He did a lot of other things, so he didn't just adjust me, but he also taught me why the muscles do what they do, how to address certain muscle issues when things arise and what happens. And he would take extra time with me when I would go in to see him to explain things and to really get behind the science and the physiology behind it, because he understood that I was a personal trainer. And that's also how I found him, was through someone else in the gym. So he really helped me understand the human body in a lot of different ways that I never would have thought of. And he helped me with a little low back tweak that I had. He's helped me with my hips, because that was the original issue that I went in to go see him with, was my hips were about 4 inches off. If this is my left heel and my right heel, they were way off. So working with him through that year really helped me get a deeper and better understanding of corrective exercise and the physical therapy things that he taught me. Now, I put physical therapy in quotations because as a personal trainer, I can't say physical therapy. I have to say corrective exercise, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not certified in physical therapy, but I am certified in corrective exercise, which they go very hand in hand with each other, and they are pretty much the same thing at the end of the day. But anyways, I text him, I'm like, yo, I think I just tore my pec. And he's like, clear your schedule, come in as soon as you can, I have this time available. So I went in and saw him immediately after that. I can't believe I didn't take more pictures of it, but I have 2 pictures. I have one from, I believe, when I went and saw him at the chiropractor, and then I have another picture a couple days later when it was probably at its worst, but that bruising took forever to go off, or to leave, words. And it was all in my bicep and in my chest, but it wasn't in the area that I felt the tear. So that's what I thought was very interesting. So when I get to the chiropractor, I find out it's my pec minor, because it's up underneath the big pec muscle. So it's not up in this main area, but it was up underneath pec minor, connecting into my shoulder and also into my biceps. So I feel what our conclusion was my bicep was trying to take over for my chest, and that's why all the bruising happened in my bicep, because my bicep was taking over after the injury in my chest happened in that moment. And you can still see it today. I'm still working through it, but definitely benching a lot better than I was after that first year of it. But if I take this off, you can see the injury. You can see the tightness in my bicep. If I go a certain direction, there it is. So that is the injury spot. You can see that right there. So that's the tightness of the pec minor connecting into the shoulder joint going into the bicep. So that is something now that I'm going to live with for the rest of my life, and I've accepted that. Now, it's a bummer that I probably won't be able to bench super, super heavy, but I can still get a great physique. And so can you with an injury. You just got to know how to work around it and the proper ways to do it and how to healthily get around those injuries like that, because there are a lot of people that live with injuries. Maybe it's a rotator cuff, maybe it's a hip rotator cuff injury or tear. Maybe they had a full pec tear, and then they had to get it surgically, and now they know that that's something that they can only do to the best of their abilities. And I've been blessed to work with a lot of different types of clients being a personal trainer, and that has really opened my eyes to the world of injuries as well, because the amount of times that people came in, and I had one client that broke his tibia when he was in his 20s, and he still feels it today, and now he's in his 50s. I have had people with hip injuries, with shoulder injuries that they had happen when they were in high school or college, and they did the typical, they got the surgery done or whatever they needed to get done, and then they did the physical therapy, and then it just never got addressed after that. And it's just been a lifetime of, oh, I need to watch out for my shoulder, or I need to watch out for my elbow, or my knees, or my hips, or my low back, whatever, wherever the injury may be. And I realized that, oh, wow, this is something that's going to affect me for the rest of my life now. But something that I realized I had that other people didn't was I have that background in corrective exercise and in strength training. So literally the day after the injury, saw my chiropractor. He's like, it's good, just keep it moving. Make sure that you get blood flow to it, but give it some rest, give it a few days. Don't do anything strenuous with it before you start lifting again. And obviously I knew that too. I needed to give it time to rest and heal. But after about 2 or 3 days, I got the lightest bands we had in the gym, set it up on the big metal racks that we had, and I would just very light, chest press, very light curls, just working that full range of motion, shoulder presses, even just trying to get everything moving to get blood flow back into that area. And I have to say that that is part of the reason why I can also move as good as I can right now without surgery, because I did all the little things through corrective exercise to help my shoulder, my biceps, all the muscles in the back and the chest come back, so then I can start lifting heavy again. Now, heavy is relative. And when I mean heavy, I mean 135, 155 on the barbell. So nothing too crazy, but still enough to get some growth, to get a good chest pump, to feel good. And at this point, heavy is relative for everybody. It just depends on where you are in your fitness journey. And that is why I created the Stronger for Life protocol, because I am taking the basics of strength training, the basics of corrective exercise, putting them together so then we can take you one step further from the physical therapy that you're given after the surgeries, but then we can also take it one step further, so now you have a lifetime of strength in that area of injury. Because at the moment of my injury, after all that happened, I went to my chiropractor, but did all the things. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't be the only one that's going through this. Well, duh. That's what all my clients are going through, but they're all in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, still trying to deal with the repercussions of that injury that they had 20, 30 years ago. So now that I can address this now, I want to be able to help people nip this in the butt super early on, right after injury, or even a year, 2, 3 years after injury, maybe even 40 years after injury, whatever point it is. But I want to be able to make sure that people have that help after physical therapy to get the strength training and the corrective exercise done. So then this isn't an issue for the rest of your life. So you're not scared to go into the gym, or you don't want to work out that certain muscle, but you feel confident and you're just strong and you can do your day-to-day life without having to worry about this injury affecting your life. And based on everything I saw for myself and my clients that were working through injury, that's how I based my Stronger for Life protocol based off of these 4 phases. That first phase is stability, because we need to make sure before we do anything else that we lay out your groundwork and we lay out your foundation for what the injury is. And we need to find all those little tiny muscles around that injury to build it up, address the actual injury itself, and then go on from there. Second phase is strength. So now that we have built your foundation and you're starting to feel a little bit more confident in just moving the injury site by itself, now we can focus on truly strengthening that muscle. So now we're going to use progressive overload, and we're going to week by week, month over month, make the movements more complicated, make the weight heavier, and just see that progress happen week over week now. This is when you're really going to start noticing the subtle differences in your day-to-day life, and that injury spot isn't going to bother you as much. It might be a little bit sore from all the hard work that we're putting in, but you're going to start noticing little things, like maybe it's going up the stairs, maybe it's getting a box from a high shelf like at the top of your closet, or you're doing your yard work, you're putting your kid in the car, you're taking your kid out of the car, or you're just doing your normal workouts on your own time. You're going to start noticing, oh wow, that's not bothering me as much as it used to, and I'm a lot more capable now of what I thought I used to be before. The third phase is stamina. So now that we've built your foundation, we're strengthening it up. Now we need to make sure that you can sustain that strength for long periods of time, no matter what it may be. And that could be some of the examples I just listed out before. Or maybe it's just enough to be able to get you through the day at the very least. Maybe your shoulder bothers you and you work at a desk job, or you're here all day, but you have to take constant and frequent breaks because your shoulder just keeps giving out, or it keeps hurting, or you can't do as much as you'd like to. So now that we built that foundation, we built that strength, now maybe you can work for a little bit longer and you're able to support your family a lot better than you were before. Or again, maybe it's just a hobby. Maybe you really enjoy pickleball, tennis, golf, but your shoulders, hip, low back bother you. But now that we've strengthened whatever the area that you need work in so much better than what it used to be, now you can do those things and your quality of life goes through the roof, because now you can just do the simple things in life that used to really bother you. And then phase 4 is sustainability. So after we've built your foundation, we've built the strength, and we've built the muscular endurance, this is where you're going to be able to have these keys for a lifetime now. So now the things that I have taught you, you're going to be able to carry on with you forever, whether it's the strength training, it's the mobility training, it's the corrective exercise, whatever it may be. These are skill sets that you can take for a lifetime for that area, and that you can keep applying. You can constantly do over and over again. You can go back to the basics. You can go to the more advanced movements. If this sounds like you, I want to help, because I've been there and I know what it's like, and I've seen so many lives changed, and I've seen so many people that stick with the same injuries and don't change their lives. If you're looking for that change, my Stronger for Life protocol is going to be there to change your life and to have you go from injured to athletic within 4 months. And here's the guarantee I'll put out there. If we don't get there within 4 months, I'll continue to work with you for free until we get you there. Where that desired result may be, it is my mission to get you to that desired result. We're fired up and ready to get started. I'm looking to help 5 more clients from now until the end of the year, until early beginning of next year. I'm going to have my Instagram linked. I'm going to have my school community linked, and that's also linked in the bio of my YouTube page. So if you want to join that free exclusive fitness community, you can hit that link in the YouTube bio. That's it today. If this video helped you or if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.